predicting the future. It's not just for psychics. Forecasting is an important part of today's organizations. Think about your local supermarket store. They have someone behind the scenes, a forecaster, who needs to predict how much yogurt they are going to sell next week. Let's call this forecaster Jim. If Jim predicts that 100 yogurts will be sold, but only 50 are sold, Jim has a problem, because those additional 50 yogurts will expire and we will have to throw them away. Now, if Jim would only predict 20 yogurts instead of the desired 50, he will have a problem as well. Those 30 yogurts that are missing from the shelves will lead to unhappy customers and to potential lost sales. So Jim can predict a little, and he can predict too much. Jim uses forecasting software. This software uses data stored by the supermarket about their past yogurt sales. It can even be linked to other factors, such as, for instance, weather forecasts. But now imagine that Jim's supermarket tells him, next week we're having a promotion. We're handing this out in our folder and people will know there's a sale on the yogurt. This is not an easy thing to handle for forecasting software. So Jim will need to start using his brain. Forecasters like Jim use their brain to make their own forecasts or to adjust the forecasts from the software system. So when something out of the ordinary happens, like a sales promotion, Jim needs to look at the forecast made by the system and adjust it. But what will this adjustment be? Will the promotion lead to a 10% increase? To a 30% increase? That's not an easy feat. So Jim needs to use his brain to the fullest. He needs to look at the forecast of the system and adjust it based on his own expertise and his knowledge. Now, this cooperation between the software system on the one hand and the forecaster's brain on the other hand is invaluable. But it can also lead to mistakes. People are generally way too optimistic. So Jim might predict a 90% increase, where a 30% increase will be more realistic. Or people start adjusting the forecast of the system when they don't really have to. And that's exactly what my field of research looks into. How we can optimize the cooperation between the forecaster's brain and between the forecasting system so that we can get more accurate forecasts and that people like Jim can make better decisions.